Ethan Cole was not the kind of man who liked waiting. Every day the edge of known space called to him like a distant song, full of secrets and dangers. He had grown up listening to stories of humanity's past victories and defeats in the stars, of titanic warships that could destroy entire fleets. Most people thought those stories were legends, but Ethan had never believed in most people. One morning, as he piloted his small scout ship across a forgotten sector, his instruments picked up a faint energy signature. It was unusual, old, powerful, and unlike anything the galactic maps recorded. Curiosity burned inside him, stronger than fear. The signal came from a dead system, a planet stripped of atmosphere and life. The others would have avoided it. Ethan could not. He approached the planet, scanning its surface. There, half buried in debris and dust, he saw it. The hull of a massive ship, so large it blocked the view of the planet behind it. Ethan's jaw tightened. It was the kind of vessel humans had only heard about in whispers, the Behemoth. Centuries old, abandoned and thought lost forever. Landing was difficult. The ground beneath him cracked under the weight of his small ship, and the airlock hissed as he prepared to step out. Dust swirled around his boots, the silence of the dead planet pressing against him. No other human had set foot here in centuries, and perhaps no alien had either. The ship looked broken, battered by time, yet Ethan sensed a heartbeat beneath its cold metal. A faint, pulsing hum like it was waiting. He moved toward the massive doorway, tracing his fingers over alien symbols etched into the hull. Then, as if in response to his touch, the doors groaned and opened a few inches. Ethan blinked. The ship was alive, or at least it responded to him as though it recognized him. A thrill shot through his chest. Stepping inside was like entering another world. Corridors stretched farther than he could see. Walls lined with technology that no human engineer could understand at first glance. Panels flickered and holographic maps lit up under his gaze, showing star systems and coordinates he had never seen. The ship was enormous, far larger than any human starship. It was a city in itself. Ethan explored carefully. He climbed stairways taller than his small ship, walked across bridges suspended over deep engine chambers, and entered control rooms with consoles that hummed faintly under his fingers. Every step seemed to awaken the ship more. Doors slid open without touch. Lights brightened and the faint hum grew louder. He knew he was not alone in discovery. A small alien scout team had been tracking the ship for decades. News of the Behemoth's activation had already reached them through hidden probes. Ethan noticed it first when a shadow moved along one of the outer decks. He ducked behind a console as a small group of alien soldiers entered, scanning for life. His pulse raced. He had no weapon powerful enough to face them directly. But then he remembered the ship. Its defenses were ancient, unknown, and possibly deadly. Ethan pressed a sequence of buttons on a console, almost guessing. A low rumble shook the deck. Panels slid aside, revealing energy turrets hidden for centuries. The aliens froze. And then the turrets fired, not harming the intruders but forcing them to retreat in panic. Ethan exhaled. He realized something extraordinary. This ship was not just a relic. It was waiting for someone who could understand it, someone who could awaken its power, and for reasons he could not explain, it had chosen him. Days passed as he explored more. He learned to interface with the ship, opening new decks, starting dormant engines, and understanding basic controls. Every discovery brought awe. Alien machinery responded to human logic, even to Ethan's improvisations. He marveled at the fusion engines, the energy shields, and the massive cannons designed to obliterate fleets. Ethan also learned the ship had a memory. It could record and store commands, adjust defenses, and even simulate battle scenarios. In a quiet room full of holographic projections, he watched fleets of alien ships appear and disappear in simulated battles, imagining himself at the helm, commanding them against invaders. He smiled. For the first time, he felt not just like an explorer, but like a commander capable of controlling a power no one had seen for centuries. But the peace of discovery did not last. Sensors picked up another fleet approaching, larger this time and hostile. Ethan understood the reality. Others wanted the Behemoth, and they would stop at nothing to claim it. Fear pressed on him, but determination pressed back stronger. He could not allow this power to fall into the wrong hands. Not now, not ever. Using his knowledge of the ship, he prepared defenses. He activated shields, hid sections of the corridors, and learned to manipulate the turrets and energy arrays. When the first wave of alien raiders arrived, Ethan was ready. The Behemoth awoke further, its engines roaring to life, sending vibrations through the metal decks. Energy cannons blazed, striking the enemy ships with precision that no alien pilot expected. Ethan's ingenuity surprised even himself. He had no formal training in alien weapon systems, yet he adapted quickly, improvising solutions where logic demanded speed. Ships that had never feared humans found themselves disabled, retreating in awe. In the midst of battle, the Behemoth seemed to move as one with him, almost anticipating his decisions before he made them. After the skirmish, the Behemoth fell silent again, as if resting, waiting for the next challenge. Ethan walked through its corridors, feeling both awe and responsibility. This ship was no longer a legend, no longer a forgotten relic. It was alive, and it had chosen humanity, and him, to be its voice and its shield. He spent nights in the command deck, staring at the stars. Thoughts of what the future might hold filled him. Could he truly master this power? Could a single human defend humanity against the forces lurking beyond the stars? The questions pressed, but Ethan did not waver. He had seen enough, learned enough, and fought enough to know one thing: he would not fail. As he looked out into the dark void, he imagined the galaxy's great fleets and civilizations taking notice. They would see a human commanding a weapon of legend, a force of nature they could not predict, a symbol of humanity's ingenuity, courage, and persistence. And they would have to reckon with it. The Behemoth's hum pulsed gently beneath his feet, a reminder that it was alive, aware, and ready. Ethan touched the console, feeling the energy flow beneath his fingers. He whispered to himself, almost in awe, "I will not let you fall into the wrong hands. We will rise together." And with that, part one ended. Not with a battle won, but with a promise made. The galaxy did not yet know the power of the Behemoth, nor did it understand the cunning of humanity. But Ethan did. And humanity, for the first time in centuries, had a weapon unlike any other, one that could reshape the fate of the stars. Ethan Cole stood on the Behemoth's command deck, watching the stars streak by as the massive engines hummed beneath his feet. The dead planet they had found the ship on had already fallen behind them. He had repaired the basic systems, awakened the weapons, and defended the Behemoth from the first wave of alien scavengers. But this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast and threats were endless. Alien fleets would not allow humanity to possess such a weapon without a fight. Ethan understood that fully. He also knew the Behemoth would need more than just basic repairs. It had to be transformed into a weapon that could strike fear across the stars, a superweapon of legend. For days, Ethan worked tirelessly. He navigated the ship's endless corridors, climbing to engine rooms that dwarfed anything human engineers had ever built. He studied alien energy reactors, rewired power conduits, and merged human logic with alien technology. Sometimes he barely slept, surviving on a few hours while the ship seemed to anticipate his needs, opening panels, revealing hidden rooms, and even adjusting life support as if it understood the burden of its pilot. Ethan discovered the Behemoth's primary weapon systems: massive energy cannons capable of obliterating entire fleets, long-range plasma projectors, and hidden missile bays. The technology was advanced, unlike anything humanity had ever seen, but it was not fully functional. Years of neglect had left it dormant, and alien tampering had made some systems unstable. He experimented cautiously. One miscalculation, and the weapon could destroy the ship itself. Ethan's hands flew over control panels, calibrating energy flows and stabilizing power grids. Slowly, the cannons roared to life in test mode, their hum vibrating the floors and walls. It was the sound of power, the sound of a weapon reborn. As he worked, he felt the weight of history pressing down. The Behemoth had fought in wars that humans had only read about in dusty archives. It had destroyed fleets, turned planets to ash, and survived betrayals and battles that no one else remembered. Now it had chosen a human, a young engineer with nothing but courage and determination to awaken it once more. Ethan realized something remarkable. The Behemoth was not just a ship. It was alive in a way humans could understand. It responded to strategy, intuition, and even emotion. When he made a tactical decision, the ship adapted its defenses. When he hesitated, the ship waited. And when he acted with boldness, the Behemoth became unstoppable. Days turned into weeks. Ethan improved the shields, reinforced the hull, and connected the ship's energy systems in a way that maximized power output without risking an overload. He devised new tactics combining human unpredictability with the precision of alien weaponry. Every simulation he ran, every test fire taught him more. By the end of the second week, the Behemoth was no longer just a ship. It was a sentient war machine, ready to strike at any threat. The first real test came sooner than he expected. A massive alien armada appeared on the ship's sensors, moving faster than any fleet Ethan had seen. Hundreds of vessels, sleek and deadly, were converging on his location. They had come for the Behemoth, intent on reclaiming what they believed was theirs. Ethan felt a surge of adrenaline. He ran to the command deck, his fingers flying over the consoles. He issued commands to the ship's weapon systems, activating shields, firing energy projectors, and opening hidden turrets. The Behemoth moved as one with him, its massive bulk shifting in space to anticipate enemy attacks. The first wave of alien ships fired plasma beams, cutting through the void. The Behemoth's shields flared, absorbing the blasts while energy cannons retaliated. Ships exploded in brilliant bursts of fire and metal, their pieces drifting in the emptiness of space. Ethan's strategy was simple but brilliant. He used the Behemoth's size and mobility to funnel enemies into crossfires, striking with precision no alien could anticipate. Hours passed. The battle raged like a storm, with explosions lighting up the darkness. Ethan adapted constantly, predicting enemy movements and countering them with cunning maneuvers. One alien flagship attempted to flank him, but the Behemoth's hidden missile bays fired with deadly accuracy, reducing it to rubble. Another wave of fighters approached, and Ethan redirected energy to smaller turrets, mowing them down before they could reach critical systems. Despite the chaos, Ethan remained calm. He had learned to trust the Behemoth. Every pulse of energy, every hum of the engines told him the ship was ready, alive and eager to fight. The alien fleets had underestimated humanity. They had assumed a single human could never control such power, but they were wrong. By the end of the battle, the alien armada lay in ruin. Scattered ships drifted, disabled or destroyed, while Ethan stood victorious on the Behemoth's command deck. The hum of the ship felt like a satisfied sigh, a recognition that it had found its master. Humanity had a weapon now, one that no alien fleet could challenge easily. But Ethan knew this was not the end. The galaxy was vast and threats were endless. He would need to continue improving the Behemoth to prepare for enemies even more cunning and powerful. Yet, for the first time, he felt hope. A hope that humanity, small and underestimated, could survive and even thrive among the stars. He spent days repairing minor damages from the battle, reinforcing the hull and testing weapons for reliability. The ship responded eagerly, almost as if it understood the importance of being ready. Ethan explored more decks, discovering hidden rooms filled with alien technology, star maps of unknown systems, and archives detailing battles humans had never witnessed. Knowledge was power, and now he had both. Ethan began to think bigger. If a human could awaken a ship of legend, what else could humanity achieve? He imagined fleets of humans exploring the stars, armed with ingenuity and courage. He imagined humans standing as equals to the galaxy's most advanced civilizations, not feared for brute force alone, but respected for intelligence, strategy, and audacity. One evening, as he looked out into the void, he imagined alien commanders discussing the Behemoth in disbelief. How can a human control that? They would ask. No species should possess such power. But the truth was simple. Humans were unpredictable, clever, and fearless. They could take risks no other species dared. And now, with the Behemoth, one human could wield the power of an entire fleet. Ethan smiled. He touched the console, feeling the energy hum beneath his fingers. "We're just getting started," he whispered. The Behemoth responded with a low, powerful vibration, as if acknowledging his words. Together they would shape the galaxy's future, defending humanity, challenging enemies, and rewriting history. As he rested in the command deck for the first time, he felt a connection unlike any other. The Behemoth was alive, aware, and ready, and humanity, small and underestimated, had a champion capable of changing the fate of the stars. The legend was no longer forgotten. It had awakened, and it had chosen a human to guide it. The galaxy would never be the same again,